What's good, y'all? What's good, Real Talk Squad? This is Miles, and you're listening to Real Talk with Miles Johnson, where you know we always keep it real. Let's get straight into it, man. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that jazz. Share with a friend and share with a friend. And man, oh man, last night took some years off my life. It flat out did. And in this episode, we're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly from the Eagles' 34-29 win over the Green Bay Packers and becoming the first NFL team to win in South America. Fly, Eagles, fly. I feel great. You feel me? But there's a lot of stuff we got to digest from offense, defense, coaching staff as well. And let's just get straight into it. We'll start from the beginning and how atrocious that first two drives were. I mean, Jalen Hurts. This is gonna be an episode, y'all. I gotta be objective about Jalen Hurts. I'm one of his biggest supporters. I'm not feeding in these BS narratives that he's being carried and all that. What I will say, if we're being honest, if we're being objective about Jalen Hurts in this game, he was the weakest link on offense. That's not a debate. That's simply what happened. Now, Hurts had made some spectacular plays down the stretch. He had some great plays to Saquon Barkley on that wheel route. Chef's kiss of a pass right there. Some great throws to Devontae, AJ, for sure. But if we're keeping it a stack, Saquon Barkley is a man amongst boys. We're entering the Saquon Barkley era, and he's the second Eagles player to have 3 touchdowns in his debut since Terrell Owens in 2004. He was at the top, right? Then you have A.J. Brown with a $120, a touchdown. He flat out sunned Jair Alexander. He showed why he is a top 5, maybe top 3 wide receiver in this league. Devontae Smith gave us no doubt that he was a top 10 wide receiver. You should have been known that after you saw what he did against the Buccaneers with literally no scheme, strictly off talent. And we're seeing now with some actual pre-snap motion, which we're going to talk about more, how special Devontae can be when you actually scheme to get him open. And Dallas Goedert was making some plays, all that stuff. But if you're keeping it a stack, Jalen Hurts was the weakest link on the Eagles offense. Now, this is not to say that there will be other games this season that he will be the biggest reason why they win or the biggest factor in why they win. But this game specifically, he did not play well up to what we know he can play up to. That's just a fact. That's a fact. This is not saying that he's not elite. Heck, Jordan Love did not play well yesterday. He not play well. And he's a guy who I had as my MVP. He's a guy who folks was already trying to crown him as the golden boy of the NFC after what he did to the Cowboys. You feel what I'm saying? So both quarterbacks did not play well, but Jalen Hurts, he's got to stop playing this hero ball. I don't want to see that because we have too many weapons offensively to carelessly give the ball over to the other team. Like, we can live for another down. We can take a punt. We can take a field goal if everything doesn't look right. I'm like, we don't got to force nothing, bro. We don't have to force nothing. And it hurts. You ain't got to prove that you this elite top 5 quarterback. It don't matter, bro. Like, you can live for another down. So it didn't make sense to me as to why in his second throw of the game, he tried to force feed Devontae Smith down the field, and Xavier McKinney flat out was looking straight at Cuz, read his eyes, caught that jump. Man, I was like, all right, here we go. Now we're about to hear these BS narratives about how Jalen Hurts is mid, how Jalen Hurts is going to be a Saquon Barkley merchant, all this stuff, and we're going to dead that before it even starts, and I will vehemently deny those things, but we got to call it what it is. Hurts has to play better. And then, I don't know if it was Cam Jurgens and his inexperience, or it definitely was his inexperience given the fact that this is his first game under center in the absence of Jason Kelsey after his retirement. But with Jalen Hurts and Cam Jurgens, it's like y'all got to be on that same page. If we're keeping it a stack, if Cam Jurgens and Jalen Hurts are on the same page on those 2 fumble snaps, the one in our own half and the other one in the red zone, I don't know, the Eagles probably could have put up 50 points. Or if Jalen Hurts didn't have all these turnovers. I mean, this offense is so prolific that they had 34 points off of 4 turnovers. That is unheard of. That is unheard of, bro. That's simply unheard of. So we're seeing how explosive this offense can be. 3 touchdowns, Saquon Barkley, $120 in total offense. A.J. Brown, $120, 1 touchdown. Devontae Smith, 80 yards, 7 receptions. So we're seeing this trio, that triple threat, that big 3, show what they can do at their apex. But we need Jalen Hurts to play at his apex in order for the Eagles to achieve the goals that they want to achieve. So I'm looking at that. I want to shout out Kellen Moore for doing something that Brian Johnson and Nick Sirianni last year refused to do. And it's pretty egregious that this wasn't used more last year, but I'm so happy this was used more. What is it? Pre-snap motion. Let me give you this stat about pre-snap motion. Moore's offense utilized 48 of 73 plays in motion. That is 65.8%, their highest mark in a game since 2020, according to Next Gen Stats. Last season, in Nick Sirianni's scheme, the Eagles used motion at the lowest rate in the league, 35.1%. That's the Kellen Moore effect. Now, Kellen Moore is not safe from criticism. We're not gonna act like he we're not gonna act like when it was 3rd and 13, you don't run the ball in the red zone and just go ahead and live for another day and take those points. We're not going to talk about how it was 3rd and 2 and you try to pass the ball when you have an unstoppable play that you know you can use the tush push that's still effective, even in the absence of Jason Kelsey. My thing is, bro, I don't want to ever see the Eagles not use the tush push if it's 2nd and 2, if it's 3rd and 2, if it's 4th and 1. Like, I don't want the Eagles to ever use another play besides the tush push if you are at 3rd and 2 or less. Do the play twice. You got an unstoppable move. Why are you not doing that, John, twice? So that was my only criticisms of Kellen Moore, was the fact on that 3rd and 13 in the red zone in the 4th quarter. Now, again, Jalen Hurts did not do a good job of reading the field, reading the situation, and being like, is it smart for me to throw a ball across my body to Jair Alexander? And although A.J. Brown got the better of him, Jair Alexander is still an all-pro caliber cornerback. And then what happened? A.J. Brown slipped and, ended up getting that picked off. So there was some stuff from Kellen Moore. I just wanted to see you have some more awareness in terms of running the ball sometimes in certain situations. But offensively, there's not much I can really say outside of Hurts really got to play better. And that offensive line, we saw some spots. Lane Johnson got a penalty. He also allowed an edge rusher to go right to Hurts and just didn't let him. He didn't even block him. That was kind of bizarre. I think he wanted a penalty for a neutral zone infraction. Lane Johnson did, but hey, bro, you gotta. I don't know. I don't know what that one. Ultimately, the offense did what it had to do, but I want to really credit this defense real quick. And what I mean by this, I want to credit the defense in the fact that it could have got ugly very, very fast. Because if we're keeping the stack, the Eagles got lucky that after those two horrendous turnovers in our own red zone, in our own half, that we only came away down 0-6. So that is a credit to Vic Fangio's defense and how they were playing early in that first quarter. I want to shout out Quinyon Mitchell. Quinyon Mitchell is the first cornerback in Eagles history to start week 1 since 1988. And he flat out showed up. Obviously, was he perfect? He wasn't perfect, but for a rookie, he was damn near perfect. He was flat out everywhere. Talk about what he did against Christian Watson off rip. They tried to test him. And it was funny because Matt LaFleur was very disrespectful off rip. He was very disrespectful off rip. What did he do? It was 4th and 6, and Cuz was really about to go for it before they got a penalty. I'm like, you are a wild bull. You're disrespectful. Okay. All right, cool. So the defense showed up in that first quarter, but then it was a shift, right? It was a shift because in that second quarter, it was different. Now it was like the offense was clicking, but the defense wasn't good. You're talking about you can't give up $160 on rushing. So this defense must be better stopping the run. I need more from Jordan Davis. I need more. I don't see enough. Jalen Carter, I need some more. It shouldn't be a situation all year. And although I love Josh Sweat, and I'm glad that he restructured his contract to come back, and I'm glad to have him back on this Eagles squad, it should be no reason that he's our best edge rusher. I'm just sorry. It should be no reason why he's our best player, really trying to, attack the quarterback and all that stuff. Like, we need Jordan Davis. In order for the Eagles to achieve the heights that they want to reach, they need Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter to really be that dynamic duo. And we saw some flashes of Jordan Davis being able to stop the run and have those plays that aren't in the stat sheet, but he's so overwhelming that if he just stands his ground and doesn't fold, doesn't break, that it'll allow for his teammates to go ahead and make a play as he supports them. So I need some more out of Jordan Davis, and I expect more out of him, out of that Georgia Bulldog. Linebacking core, there was definitely spots where Nakobe Dean could have been better in pass coverage, but ultimately when you're put in a spot, when you're first game back from injury last season and you battled through a bunch of injuries with your foot, I was very proud of Nakobe Dean. Obviously, he would have liked to have that pick 6, and man, oh man, I would have acted a fool if bro picked off Jordan Love, and I know he would have wanted that back. I would have wanted that back. It was right there, and they ended up getting a touchdown later on, so it's like we would have wanted that back, Nakobe. Zach Bond was everywhere. He obviously missed that tackle on Jaden Reed, and that wasn't good at all. It flat out wasn't good at all. But he had 2 quarterback hits. I believe he had 2 sacks. He led the team in tackles. He was everywhere. He was kind of showing me some flashbacks of TJ Edwards back in 2022. So Zach Bond, shout out Harry Roseman. We'll talk about him a little bit later. But Zach Bond, that was a great pickup, and I am interested to see if Devin White starts. I know that probably sounds crazy given the fact that he was that a marquee signing on defense last year, but given the reports that Nakobe took his spot before he got injured and the way that Zach Bond has played in week 1, I'm interested to see what they do with Devin White. We'll have to see what they do with that. I'm happy with overall how we played, given the fact that, all right, you have those lapses. You have Saquon Barkley who slips. That turf was, that grass was terrible. It was terrible. It was flat out terrible. But we were able to bounce back and all of that. Saquon Barkley, let me talk about him real quick. There's a reason why I said that Saquon Barkley would have that Christian McCaffrey impact on the Philadelphia Eagles, because he is a guy who has the same talent as CMC. He does. I don't even think that you can definitively say that Christian McCaffrey is better than Saquon Barkley. Better at what? Better at what? Saquon Barkley can do everything Christian McCaffrey can do. The only difference was that he was playing for a poverty franchise while Christian McCaffrey was playing with the Avengers. Well, guess what? Now Saquon Barkley, he has his Avengers too, and he is putting up monster numbers. I thought he'd have 2 touchdowns, but 3? Oh, you snapping, buddy. And I'll say this too, shout out Howie Roseman for acquiring Saquon Barkley, because at the time it was definitely a blockbuster move, but folks was like, well, why would you give up on DeAndre Swift when you had, like, why would you do that? And I'll say this, bro. DeAndre Swift was underutilized last year for sure, and he still got 1,000 yards. And he is a phenomenal player. I believe he will do great things for the Chicago Bears. But he ain't Saquon Barkley. He not Saquon Barkley. It's levels to greatness, y'all. It is levels to greatness. And Howie Roseman, he saw that. He saw a marquee free agent open on the market for us to grab. We're in win now mode, and that's what Saquon Barkley is. He's box office. He's a superstar, and he is somebody that will propel the Eagles to the Super Bowl. And it is a reason why. It is a reason why I picked Saquon Barkley as my offensive player of the year. You don't know football if you thought he wouldn't put up Madden numbers. We literally just said this, bro. We literally just said this. So Saquon's different. Saquon is of that ilk that as long as you give him some great pieces around him, he's going to flourish. What happened with that wheel route, that 18-yard pass? And yes, it was a chef's kiss. It was a beautiful pass by Jalen Hurts. But what happened? It was A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith's presence that opened up Saquon Barkley to be great. That opened up Saquon Barkley to get that touchdown. And that's something that Saquon never experienced when he was with the New York Giants. So now we're seeing how great, how important it is to actually play with some great players, bro. You feel what I'm saying? So that's something that I'm very, very happy to see. And man, oh man, this is something that I'm just looking forward to this season, man. I'm looking forward to our schedule. I'm looking forward to playing the Cowboys. I'm looking forward to playing the Giants. Saquon might put up 200 total yards against the Giants. I'm not kidding. He might do that. He might do that. And so I'm very happy. But I'm happy, but what last season showed us is that when you see mistakes early on, you don't go ahead and gloss over them. I did that last year. I'm not finna do that. So we have to work on making tackles. Like, I don't care if you're Bill Belichick calling in defense. If your players ain't making tackles, your defense is going to give up points. It don't matter how good of a scheme that you draw up. It don't matter how smart you are defensively with the X's and O's. But my goodness, if your folks cannot make a tackle, I'm talking to you, Zach Bond. I'm talking to you, C.J. Garner-Johnson. It's gonna be a guy in Jaden Reed who's gonna go for 2 touchdowns and $130. You feel me? So this is stuff that we have to clean up. We can chalk it to a, oh, it's first game of the season. They didn't play in preseason and they getting, their feet under them. We can say that, but I don't want to make excuses. I want to pencil that in and be like, we need to be better there. We have to be better there. Simply have to be better there. AJ Brown, he sunned Jair Alexander. And it was funny because Jair, he be talking. As he should. I mean, that's what cornerbacks do. They all talk. I mean, you got to have that mindset. But it's like, he got sunned out that joint. That double move was nasty. AJ Brown was a man amongst boys out that joint. Devontae Smith was a man amongst boys. This guy, he is skinny. He be taking hard hits, but he pops right back up. I don't know how he does it, because it be looking like he just got decked, and then Devontae just pops right back up. He is the toughest skinny dude I've never seen in my life. And let's keep it a stack. AJ Brown and Devontae Smith put to bed who is the best wide receiver duo in the league. Don't tell me Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Tyreek Hill and AJ Brown are at that same level. But guess what? Devontae Smith can't. I'll say this with Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith is way over Jalen Waddle. He's over him, bro. So it shouldn't even be a debate on who should be, the best wide receiver duo. It's A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and then everybody else follows right after them. But like, comment, subscribe, man. Wow. Talked about a lot. Again, a lot of stuff that we have to clean up. And my main things that I want you to take away before we get off: Jalen Hurts must play better. The defensive line must play better. Saquon Barkley just got to keep doing what he do. That's all you got to do. Just keep doing what you do, brother. Just keep doing what you do. You, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, y'all are constants. We know what y'all going to do. And I think that, last thing. Let me say this last thing, too. Our secondary, it held up better than I thought. Now, Avonte Maddox, let's keep it a stack. I mean, if Isaiah Rodgers wasn't injured, Avonte Maddox wouldn't have played that much. I do believe you should have had Quinyon Mitchell in the slot more than you had him, and could have had Kelly Ringo on the outside. I would have preferred that instead of having Avonte Maddox old ass out there, and he was getting torched in certain aspects. He cleaned it up a little bit in the latter half of that game, but I want to see Quinyon Mitchell in the slot more. He's a dog, bro. Certain guys, you can just look at him and be like, yeah, like Quinyon Mitchell, he like that, bro. He like that. He is the first cornerback since 1988 to start week 1 for the Philadelphia Eagles. He is a stud, and he is going to show us why Howie Roseman made a phenomenal pick. And I was a Kool-Aid McKinstry guy, but nah. Quinyon Mitchell, he is the freaking truth. I love y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. Share with a friend and share with a friend. Fly Eagles fly. We out.